So I came out the other day and did this Gates of the Mountains tour. I went out there. So, historical fun fact, right over in that direction, there's a lake, a man-made lake now that used to be just the Missouri River, and there is an amazing valley over there that the Missouri River goes through. And back in 1804 and 1805, the famous Lewis and Clark expedition went right through that scene, right there. I just got into Butte, Montana. I'm at the Walmart. This is one of the few Walmarts that I really will stay in just for the night. I'm not going to be here long term. There's a total old junker right there. It's got tow signs all over it. Like somebody clearly abandoned it there, which is just pisses me off. Because those are the kind of things that make Walmart not want to allow us to do this. In fact, on the front, it's like half the engine is gone. It's just totally sad. So you can't see downtown because Walmart's kind of right in front of it. I'm probably going to go down. Maybe I'll do just a bit of exploring. But I have been here in Montana for a couple of weeks. I went up and I was visiting my sister up in Great Falls. And I spent some time in Helena. So I've stopped here in Helena, Montana on my way north to Great Falls. Montana is just so amazing. I gotta tell you, Montana is truly just incredible land to drive through. I drove from Idaho Falls to Dillon. I spent the night in Dillon and then I came up here, and it's just so amazing up here. And I went to this incredibly beautiful cathedral up there. There's just in the middle of Montana, there's this like European style gigantic Catholic cathedral, and I went and poked around inside. And right from downtown you can see that the old Catholic cathedral there. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous inside. It's just absolutely beautiful architecture. Gorgeous in here. And I was looking on Google Maps. Because I wanted to just find something to do today before I headed north to Great Falls. And I did. I found something super cool. So if you go up that direction about 20 minutes, you start going up into the mountain range over there, and the Missouri River comes down through there. And a dam was created in the early 1900s, and there's now a lake there. And you can actually go do a boat tour on that, what is now a reservoir, through the Missouri River into what's called the Gates of the Mountains area. And it's truly spectacular. But the cool thing about it is that it was along that exact route, that spectacular route, that the Lewis and Clark expedition traveled along in the early 1800s. It's amazing. So now the level's quite a bit higher because the river feeds into what is now a lake, and there's a dam, and so the level is quite a bit higher. Back when Lewis and Clark went through, it wasn't a nice, slow, big, deep river. It was apparently a very treacherous stretch of the Missouri River that they really had to get through. but that stretch of the river is in the notes of the Lewis and Clark expedition. So like I said, it's way up, kind of just as you go into that mountain range up there. It's just kind of up over there. So the Missouri River kind of comes down here, and there's another reservoir that it's been turned into, and then it continues south, and the Missouri River eventually gets down to Dillon, where I had spent time, and the Lewis and Clark expedition actually ended up there in Dillon, Montana also, which is interesting. So that's what I did today, and it's absolutely breathtaking scenery because the river just goes right between these rugged canyon walls, and they remarked about that in their notes. And I just thought that was amazing that I was traveling along the exact route that Lewis and Clark would have traveled along. So that little boat coming in, that's the boat that I'm about to go on. That's the previous tour just coming back in. So that is where we are going, off in that direction.
And a garbage can. Eat, drink, enjoy your snacks, throw your trash in the can on the way out. It'll help us keep the boat clean. And they looked up, saw a wall of water making its way down there. They would quickly grab the women and children and rush to the top of the mountains, where they watched this wall of water crash down through there. And there started digging in the floor and excavating it. They would find Native American tooling. They would find the remnants of a fire ring, showing that the Native Americans had utilized this cave as a shelter while they would transit the Missouri River like a highway system. But as they got closer, they would watch those cliffs open, those rock walls would separate. This is where they would, they would paddle through the gates of they would paddle through here in late afternoon, early evening. That this was the gates of the Rocky Mountains and the foothills of the Rockies. Now, they also hit to this point in their journey where they would then make that decision to continue paddling into the canyon, not knowing the true length of it, not knowing where they would find a suitable place to rest their head. They would paddle way late into the evening before they would do so.
Montana is really great. The thoroughfares through just crisscross all over the place, and they take you through just some of the most stunning scenery, just really amazing scenery. Between Helena and Great Falls is a very pretty drive. It's really scenic and picturesque. We are now heading up into the mountains. This is actually kind of a nasty crawl up this hill, but I did it on Sunday because I went up to the gates of the mountain. Great Falls, 71. Look at that landscape. So I'm pretty sure that's the Missouri River right there. So Lewis and Clark would have come up that in 1804, 1805. So there's the Missouri River, that mighty rock outcropping where Lewis and Clark would have traveled. here we are in Great Falls. It just suddenly sort of appears when you come over this hill, and there it is. So when I got there, I visited my sister and a cousin who also lives in Helena. We went and just kind of explored the landscape. And so the weird thing about Great Falls is that it's on the edge of the Great Plains. So going east, you're on flat, 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 just rolling farmland. And then you go west and you're basically into the Great Rockies. And you can still go out into that beautiful rolling, you know, countryside of the farms, and it's just beautiful. It's just so picturesque. There's just these bale after bale after bale of rolled hay just everywhere. It's just like somebody painted the scenery. And then suddenly you just take a turn and you just are up into a mountain, forested. It's just kind of the craziest thing. You literally just sort of are right up into the mountains. So we went and did a hike and found a waterfall up there, just kind of a day hike.
Thank goodness I downloaded the maps.
Yes, oh, you did? That was smart, yeah.
But I knew that we hadn't seen it yet, so...
Oh, I am just way out here in the middle of Montana with my sister and a cousin, and we've decided to go on a hike out to some falls that are supposed to be out here, so that is what I'm doing today. Memorial Falls. Welcome to Memorial Falls. The rock formations of the cool, narrow canyon you will travel through are Nyhart quartzite, one of the hardest and oldest sedimentary rocks found anywhere in the Rocky Mountains. That's cool. It's so gorgeous out here. Look at this. This is what you think about when you think about hiking through the Rocky Mountains. Just this gorgeous landscape. Oh, wow, that is just gorgeous up there. These rock formations. So there's supposed to be some waterfalls up here. Oh. Oh, they're the waterfalls. At least some of them. Oh, and look at this. Somebody built like a little teepee hut right there. That's cool. Sometimes it is nice to get out away from the city. I spend a lot of time in cities. I don't do a lot of as much outdoor stuff, you know, as other RV people, but it certainly is nice now and then. Ah. Wow. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, so the weird thing is coming out here, it's just like rolling farming country. People are just farming huge amounts of those rolled hail bays. It's just rolling hills, pretty patchwork of landscape. And then suddenly you turn the corner and you go up into these mountains. Like just hardly any distance at all. And then here you are. Missouri River. Look at that. Missouri River. Gorgeous. Helena 53. Scenic view next right. Look at this landscape. I'm just on my way back to Helena from Great Falls. This is just really amazing. So this is a great big old ancient volcanic area. The rugged landscape here is part of the huge Adele Mountain volcanic field of 350 square miles that extends north from the Wolf Creek area. During a geologically brief interval of only 3 million years, between 76 and 73 million years ago, volcanoes erupted blocks of congealed lava and volcanic ash interspersed with lava flows. So that's what I guess a lot of this is. And look at this. The Lewis and Clark expedition passed through this canyon of nearly perpendicular rocks during its journey up the Missouri River in July of 1805. Although the men grumbled about the mosquitoes and prickly pear cactus, the Corps of Discovery was clearly impressed by the Adele Mountain volcanics, the eroded remains of a pile of volcanic rocks that flank the river for 40 miles. The volcanic rocks you see next to the interstate consist mostly of fragments from violent explosive eruptions that occurred about 75 million years ago and continued for several million years. Although the arrival of the Montana Central Railroad in 1887 did much to open this region to settlement, it was not until the early 1930s that a modern paved highway provided a direct connection between Helena and Great Falls through this area. Interesting. So Lewis and Clark expedition came through this region here, and the river is right over there. You can't quite see it, but the river goes all the way down. And then near Helena, it goes through these dramatic canyons, and I went and did a boat tour of that region where the Lewis and Clark expedition went through. So I always love stopping here every time I come up here because it's just a really dramatic scene. Boy, that would be beautiful to camp down there. Look, that would be a really spectacular camping area down there.